Hi everyone, it's Anne from Curious Moon Design. Join me today and I'll show you how I've made these beautiful art books ready to go in your journals or just as a gift for a friend. To start with, I'm going to cut out two covers, one for the back and one for the front. I'm going to use this piece of card that I have. It's quite firm, quite thick. And I'm also going to do a small one. I'm going to cut two pieces of this board book up so that one can be the front and one the back. So that will be very easy to do. I might just go down the back and I can just tear that, or get my little craft knife and just go down that area and take these two off. Okay, I've got my two pieces I want, my front and back, and the two from the board book. Now the board book, one end has got a rounded edge, but I'm not going to try and round off that edge. I think it would look a bit odd, so I'm going to work with that and just see how it looks when I've made it up. So I've got to find something to cover this with. I want this one to be a little bit vintage, and this one to be more of an art design. So I'm going to have a look round and see what I've got to cover them. Okay, well I found these two pieces. These were some things I just messed around with at college. These were some buildings I drew, Victorian buildings, and the wording is backwards because they're ready for printing on fabric. But I thought I could use a couple of those on the smaller card book cover, and then this was just another piece I was playing around with. So I'm going to cut a piece out for the cover and the back cover, and I'll cut it slightly larger so I can fold it over. Then the piece of paper that I'm going to use for the accordion will cover that, and hopefully that'll look alright. I'll try it anyway. Okay, I've cut these pieces out. They're a lot larger than the card because, as I said, I want to bend this over, and then the top and the bottom. And to do that, I'm going to use some double-sided tape, which I'll put down here and this side. Bend this over, and then put some double-sided tape along there and bend that over. So hopefully it'll make a nice cover. Okay, well I'll do that, save you watching me struggle with it, and I'll be back. I've got it to this stage. I'm just going to put this over here. And the same with this one. Just gone over a little bit, so I'll cut off the excess there. There we are, that's one side done. That's ready for its paper now. So I'll carry on and do the others, and then I'll be back when I'm ready to put the paper in. Now to cover the little booklet, I'm going to use some decoupage papers. I picked these up when I was on holiday in Cornwall, and they're beautiful. So many of them. Lovely lady I met in her craft shop. So I picked this one out. So I'm just going to do the same as I've done on this one, the larger one. I'm going to just glue this, leaving a margin on the other side. I think that'll look quite nice on there. So I'll do that. And then I finished the covers on here, so I need to measure up for the paper to go inside. So I want it to cover the overlap, and I'm going to stick this first page to the cover, but I want to make a concertina type booklet. I want it a bit longer than this page, so I'm going to cut to this level right the way along, and I'll cut 2 of those, and then what I'll be able to do is to join them halfway through where the fold is, so it won't show. That's the plan anyway. So I'll do that, and then I'll cut a smaller piece to go on the little booklet. So when I've cut the pieces out and glued the little booklet, I'll come back and show you how we cut the paper for both booklets, and I put this paper on the little card. I really love the effect from the colours from the booklet coming through paper here. So you may not be able to see it, but there's sort of a light bluish green, sort of duck egg blue, and pinks and things. It's a lovely effect. So those will be my little vintage booklet. So now what I'm left to do is to fold these, and I'm going to measure out where I want the fold, use a ruler and bend it up, and then I'll bend that one that way. I'm going to end up with a join. It's either going to be an even join on the fold. If it's not, I'm going to have to think of a way to cover the join with my collage pieces. So I'll do the folds first and see how it works out. And that's what crafting's all about, isn't it? Just having a go, seeing what works, and if it doesn't work out quite as you expected, then you can just make little changes. Okay, next problem solving idea, which is what crafting's all about, isn't it? Problem solving. I could join my pieces like that, but I'll be left with a piece that's odd to here. I want it to be the same size, and I don't want it to look as though there's a join there. Now obviously if you have a huge piece of paper, then you can cut whatever size you like, but I'm trying to use up things I have in the craft room already. So I've got this other older piece of paper, and what I'm going to do is, I've got a few of them, I'll try and match the colour a bit better. I'm going to cut a piece the same size as these squares, and then just glue it to the middle one to actually cover the join. I just don't like seeing the join there. As I say, I could have made it much smaller, but I wanted at least 3 or 4 panels in the book to use for collage. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut a piece there, join that piece, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I've been quite busy. I've made another cover on a little board book. I'm going to use that in my museum journal. I've used another vintage style, and as I had 2 little ones, I thought I would make another larger one. So I had some more decoupage paper, so I've used that on this board book. Rather nice. So now all that's left to do is to secure this to this side of the board, and I also want to include a little tie. So I've got some ribbon, and I've been trying various options, but basically what I'm going to do is glue the ribbon to the board, or I might put some tape to really secure it, and then glue the paper on top of that, so that you end up with your ribbon just there. So I would like to use this ribbon on here, but I'm not sure it's long enough. I might have to combine it with, that's all I've got of that one, combine it with another colour. But I'll have a look in my drawer and see what I've got. I'm going to use a tiny ribbon for this little book. And then for the one I'm going to use in my museum journal, I've been pulling this string apart, and I thought I could use a little bit of string. That would be more vintage-like. So that's what I'm going to do, secure this to this book, make it as flat as possible, and then stick the card on here. And the same for the other side. So I have 2 pieces of ribbon or string. So I'll go away and do that, decide which colour ribbon to go with which book, and then I'll come back. I'm going to try and do this bit on camera. It's a bit unforgiving. I use the double-sided tape, and you have to get it exactly right. I've chosen these small pieces of ribbon because I thought they just went nicely, and what I'm doing with that is just taping it down. And a piece up that way. That makes it quite secure. Now I'm going to put double-sided tape on here and stick that on there. So let's find the end of this. And I'll put this piece on the front. And then a bit on the back. So then I just want to have that just so I can see the paper a little bit Up there, I think. And then we do the same the other side. So I'll do that and come back. Well, they're all done. Looking really lovely, I think. I've completed this one, and so we have a nice lot of pages to work on, both sides. And the same with this one. I put this red, it's like a paper ribbon, but I thought it went quite nicely with the design. And that's all ready. And then the little ones, which I'm very pleased about. I love the covers. I'm probably going to ink up the edges on this one. I'm going to use it in my museum journal. And next week I'm going to be filling this with my collaged art that I showed you on my midweek crafty share. So I hope you enjoyed that make. Hope it inspires you to go make some. And if you enjoyed it, please come back again next week, where I'll be crafting with some paper or fabric. Bye for now, everyone.